All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to dive into the gaming markets, and we actually see some tokens moving quite nicely today. A little bit of bounce across the gaming altcoin market today. We'll talk about some of the projects that are going strong, one of the new launches that is absolutely crushing it, and why I still think it's undervalued, actually, based on where it is today. And then some of the projects that are moving, as well as things that I think are still great buys in this market. So, without further ado, let's get in the game. As always, guys, drop down, hit that like button, and subscribe. We're trying to hit that 100,000 mark here before we end Q1. So we have like a month and a half to hit that mark. Help us, like, comment, and subscribe down below. And tell your friends where you're getting all the crypto gaming alpha in the space. As well, shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. We have some amazing sponsors, some industry titans here on the show. Vulcan Forged, we have Ultra, we have Game Starter, we have Redato, Dreams Quest, Uncaged, 96.com, as well as NordVPN. So guys, drop down in the description, check out all of our top tier sponsors here on In the Game, and let's get in the game. So we're seeing actually across the market a pretty good day. We see stuff, like Yaku is like a low cap. That's up 37%. We see Mavia up 30%. And some of these filters are actually off. They're out of order here. We see Root Network taking a nice bounce. We see Based taking a bounce here today. We see Playable and Shrapnel in the green. So we'll talk about some of these catalysts that I actually believe could be very strong for a lot of these tokens. But let's talk about the elephant in the room today, which is obviously Heroes of Mavia. And I have to say, if you're not playing Heroes of Mavia yet, you 100% need to download this game. It is the talk of Web3 at this moment in time. And the token did launch yesterday, very successful. And it's hovering around that $3.80 to $4 mark, fully diluted market cap at about 951 million. So shout out to the Mavia team. And I tweeted this today, and this is exactly the way I feel about this launch. I think more games need to take a page out of the Heroes of Mavia playbook. So they shipped the product first. They did not care about launching their token too early, about going to market too early. They lined up the App Store for Apple, which is huge. They have really strict NFT, crypto policies. They had mass marketing ready to go. Esports organizations already lined up and sponsored. And like ready to go and play this game. We had streaming partners before the launch. They're partnered up with Kick. So, they did everything before launch. And then they launched the game successfully. Every project out there, they'll raise VC funds, and then they'll also launch a token or 7 NFT collections to try to raise money to finance the projects. When, the reality of it is, if you do a venture raise like Mavia did, they protected that capital through the bear. They launched land, and then they just built in the background. And then they brought this thing to market with over 500,000 global downloads almost immediately. And then lastly, they launched the token. That was the last thing on their agenda. And what a recipe. Like, this thing absolutely worked, right? This is how you launch a Web3 game. You ship product, you have everything lined up, you show people the game, and then your token will perform. And we see that right now from Heroes of Mavia. And I'm excited to launch my Nexus platform where we can track these things. So I think as of tomorrow, actually, I'll be able to use this on the shows. So I'm really stoked to break down these ecosystems using my own software platform. But I want to just make an example here. I think it's still undervalued, quite frankly. A lot of people are asking me, Hustle, would you buy this on the open market? So let's just look here tentatively. Axie is 1.9 billion. Okay, so that's about double the fully diluted market cap, and it's about 9x if we look at the circulating. It's about 9x of the circulating market cap. Let's go to big time. The circulating market cap is similar, but this is also a $1.4 billion market cap. So it's about 1.5x with Mavia to big time. That would be about what it needs to get to that market cap. And then last but certainly not least, let's take a look at Shrapnel. Shrapnel is at a 670. So the fully diluted is larger than Shrapnel, but personally speaking, like, I think Mavia is just better than Axie Infinity. I think it has more hype currently than Big Time. So, in my opinion, I do think that Mavia is pretty undervalued based on other games in the market. And I mentioned how I thought it would pump, take a little bit of a retrace, maybe trade sideways, and then we're going to see another big leg up. I do still expect that same exact price action. So we will just see how that plays out. Another thing to look for in the market, Ronin has been on a steady decline ever since getting listed on Binance. If you felt like you missed this thing, I mean, this thing went up to 350. Now it's down to 250. These dips, that's a straight up listing dip. So if you're looking to scoop up a position on Ronin, this would probably be the time. But let's go look at some of the tokens that are doing the best today really quick, and then we'll move into stuff that I think are great buys. And I still think stuff like Based is a fantastic buy, 17 million. It's fully diluted. They just did the facelift of their platform as well. They just announced a new feature with NFT loot boxes in the upcoming V4 of the Based casino. So pretty big updates here in the Based ecosystem. We have Crown, one of our favorite Solana tokens, making a 14% move today. And over the week, this one is looking pretty solid. This thing got down all the way to 55 cents. And as you see, it's now climbed up to 72 cents. The Kentucky Derby is going to be the biggest catalyst for this project. And I think you're going to see a big pump leading into the Kentucky Derby here. And then another one with a big catalyst this week is Shrapnel. So let's look at this chart because this is definitely something to be studied. This thing ran up very hard right after token launch, up to 42 cents. And then everyone's been freaking out during these dips. This thing just kept on dipping because there wasn't a lot of like public news. They had a couple of play tests, but now tomorrow, February 8th, they are actually starting the $1 million competition here. And with the STX1, this is going to be $100,000 in Shrap tokens, thanks to the RNG Foundation. So this is a leaderboard-based event, kind of like what Big Time did. And I think this could be the catalyst that goes a little bit viral across Web3, people competing for these big cash prizes. It could bring some attention to the Shrap token. So for everyone that's been asking about Shrap, we've just been waiting for these types of announcements. So STX1 is going live tomorrow. That is definitely something I am looking out for. And then across the market, I mean, look at that right there. That is probably a big node sale right there. Someone selling off like node rewards, but playable games just dipped below that 0.004 mark. And it's in that buy zone. Last week, I told you guys 15 to 20 million market cap on the circulating, I think is a really good accumulation level. They just partnered up with that company that's worked with 2K. They've worked with all these different game studios and publishers. So I'm super bullish on playable long-term. And this one's done quite the retrace. So if you missed that initial entry, I think this one's definitely valuable at this point in time. 17 million on Senate is just too cheap with 𝗏𝗏 coming around the corner and the amount of impact that this token has. And I'm so confused because the 𝗏𝗏 token is the in-game token, while the Senate token is the value accrual token in this ecosystem, but people are not valuing it that way because people like Alex Becker and other influencers, they will talk about 𝗏𝗏 token, not the Senate token, when the Senate token, in my opinion, is so much more bullish in the long haul. So I'm focused on the Senate token. Honeyland. Now, we've been hinting at this for quite a while. They're about to have an in-game questing event go live. And if you're not following along with the trail, we'll call it the paper trail for lack of better words. There's some riddles out there. You can sign up to join the force below 𝗤𝗟𝗡.io here. But Vidar on Twitter teasing some stuff. And I think this is definitely something you'll want to pay attention to as far as the Honeyland ecosystem. And I think this could bring a lot more users, players, investors, and attention into this economy. And then a few more that I just think are fantastic buys at the current levels. Altura, Dubs, Kaneko. And quite frankly, let me pull up our most recent position we got into. And that's BoxBet. BoxBet, this one, like, I'm telling you, when I spoke with the founders last week of this project, the things that they have lined up, I've never heard a GambleFi project with the roadmap that these guys do, and also the past history of success in the same industry. So I think this is by far, by market cap perspective, one of the most undervalued GambleFi projects in the space. And if I was to like have a trio of low cap GambleFi in my portfolio today, I would probably have to run with Based, BoxBet, and Kaneko, and then also one that's been on my daily watch list in the game Discord every single day recently, and that's Winner. So Winner is just getting absolutely pummeled here on the price. It got up to, let's look at the all chart here. Yeah, all-time highs at that 12 cent level. And this one's just dipped and dipped, and the dip just keeps on dipping. But I don't really understand why. They're moving over to Solana, I think is a bullish metric. They're on Arbitrum, one of the most liquidity dominant chains in the space. And then on top of that, they're about to have and now Solana network went down during their, who knows if that had an effect, but in reality, I think long-term Winner is going to rock it. And these prices right here are just super valuable to be accumulating at this point in time. So those are the tokens I'm currently looking at as undervalued still. It would be Based, Crown, Shrapnel, Playable, Senate, Honeyland, Altura, Dubs, Winner, BoxBet, and Kaneko. Those would be the ones I'm most centered in on. But there's a lot of good buys still out there, even with a little bit of a green market. I do like MetaFighter. I think that Gamey took a big hit after a little bit of a compromise. This one could be a nice accumulation. I know Amino is having big token unlocks currently going on. So if you're looking to get in on Amino, they're partnered up with the 49ers, headed to the Super Bowl this weekend, for example. So if you're looking for an accumulation there, it could play out here pretty soon. With the token unlocks going on. I think WAGMI is pretty cheap at this $23 million level. I think Unix is going to surprise a lot of people in this next cycle. I don't know about Grape. This thing just is not showing any signs of life given the airdrop sell pressure, but there are a lot of projects out there right now that are good buys. Domi Online, I think this is going to be one of the biggest gainers in the next bull market, for example. So there's a lot of projects out there I think are good buys, but I'm just centering in on some of the ones that I have most conviction in and that I think can do the best heading into the next cycle based on where they are today. And then quickly, some things to look out for this week. We have one of the biggest and most transacted game for sure on Solana, and that's the Heist. The Heist, it's like a passive game. You could just spend a few minutes in the ecosystem every single day. They're about to hit their season 3. And this starts, I believe, tomorrow. The Kiwi crates, the Kiwi token launches tomorrow. So as we see here, they're going to have loot, trips, access items, breeding, land and upgrades, gorilla items, Kiwi token, which I'm looking forward to. And actually, I'm going to open up some of the Kiwi crates here on stream on Friday. So be sure to be here for that. We love opening up loot boxes and seeing what we get. We have Kypris, one of the lead guys over at Block Games, one of the most anticipated token launches coming up here in Q1, Q2. He says, stay tuned. So they're about to hint something, I bet something to do with when the TGE is. So I'm super excited to just see this come to market. Their team's been pretty masterful so far as their marketing goes. We have Mocha coming soon. So this is the Mochaverse token from Animoca Brands. So this is basically the Animoca Brands token. We all know, everyone knows Animoca. They're involved in every single project in the space. So this could be huge, huge alpha for whenever it comes out. You want to know when this thing launches. And I know they're doing referrals to get involved in the ecosystem. They're probably going to do some sort of a pre-sale. So keep your eyes out for the Mocha token. We have Dega, one of our favorite upcoming infrastructure SDK style projects. They had their ISPO where you stake tokens on certain networks and you receive Dega as a reward instead of actually investing into a Launchpad or a pre-seed round and like quote unquote risking your money. You can actually now stake on Ethereum. You can stake Ethereum and receive Dega on launch. So I think this is amazing. It's on Lido Finance and this launches today. So definitely check that out if you've been involved or a fan of Dega. And then last but not least, before we head into some sponsor stuff really quickly, make sure you join my AI Arena play to airdrop team. We already have over 160 members joined on the AI Arena 𝗚𝗢𝗓𝗓 team, and we are enlisting as many as possible. So, and guys, the better you do as an individual in this competition for AI Arena, which starts next Monday, the better airdrop you get, but the better our team does, the better airdrop everyone gets. So this is truly like player versus player, but it is also team versus team. So jump in on my Twitter here, 0x_𝗚𝗢𝗓𝗓, hit this 𝗏𝗏𝗏.io link and sign up for Team Hustle. We are enlisting all of the talent that we can from the Banter fam to come join, and let's compete on the front lines and get as much NRN tokens as possible. And then quickly here on some sponsors before we close this thing out, we have Game Starter. Over the last month in January, they were the highest ROI gaming launchpad. So Chain GPT and DAO Maker do a plethora of different IDOs. But as we see here, Game Starter 4.9x, one of my favorites, 𝗓𝗏𝗏, 2.9x. But as we see here, over the January average ROI, 4.9x. That is pretty solid, especially given where the market was. And I think the token is still very accessible. Like, to get a decent tier in Game Starter isn't really that expensive currently. So shout out to Game Starter. Also, Ultra, kind of giving you a bigger picture of their ecosystem, which I really like here. You see the decks, the sports game, Project Citadel. The sports game is like Project Citadel. It's going to be built in-house. Citadel is their flagship shooter game, which looks absolutely amazing. I've been covering that one here on the show. We have Ultra is Life, the Ultra Tech Alliance, Astromust, MetaBrew, Dev Heroes, Ultra Times, Ultropia. And then on top of that, you have the unique marketplace. You have all these different pillars, Ultra Arena inside of Ultra. So I mean, this is an absolute amazing graphic and a thread here to just go over everything going on in their ecosystem. And as you see here, the sports game is exclusively coming to Ultra, and to keep your eyes on that launch. And there's DeFi on Ultra, there's esports on Ultra. So shout out to Ultra, been one of my favorite projects for quite some time. Uncaged just announced new tokenomics, games, seasons, and really revamped the whole universe. So if you've been following Monkey Ball, aka Uncaged, for the duration of the bear market, definitely go in, check out all of their different updates that they just pushed forward, because they are revamping this project to be more of an overall gaming ecosystem and a gaming studio. And I think that people are going to really enjoy some of the changes and the value accrual that they're adding to the month. But certainly not least, always navigate securely in crypto, guys. NordVPN, they're giving you a huge deal. So now the New Year's deal is passed, but the exclusive birthday deal, you can save big and get 4 extra months. So jump down below in the description. You can get NordVPN 4 extra months, as well as a big discount on your sign up. Navigate securely in crypto and protect your data. That is one of the biggest things I could ask from you, is to stay safe in a space that we still call the wild, wild west. So just to recap, guys, like, and I see some comments out there sometimes, Hustle always saying to buy. You need to buy when things are boring. Like, we like to ride our profits when things are going really well. But when things start trading sideways, even if I put positions in at the very bottom, I'm looking across the market like everyone thinks we're going down. Everyone thinks we're bearish. Everyone thinks that gaming is not legit. Okay, this is the time to start buying. Like, you need to participate when others are not. That's how you win in this industry. And that's how I'm going to keep playing my cards. And I hope you guys follow along with that journey and are making that, your mission as well, to go against the herd. If you go against the herd in crypto, you're probably going to win. So guys, like the video, subscribe. I'll be back on Friday. Like I said, we're going to rip open some Kiwi crates. We're going to go over the markets to close out the week. And as always, give you that juicy crypto gaming alpha to look out for over the weekend. So guys, like I said, like and subscribe. I'll see y'all on Friday. As always, play well, my friends.